Hi, I'm Mark Levitt, and welcome to another exciting installment of my YouTube series, Bad Lyrics. Today, I finally really did it. Yes, I'm talking about the Beatles. How could I do that? The Beatles are iconic, right? I mean, why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself and others? There's really no reason. Now, for a long time I've avoided talking about the Beatles because they were one of my favorite bands growing up, and quite frankly, I didn't want to evoke the wrath of millions of people out there who would rain down their hatred and vitriol on me, with their comments in the YouTube section. But then, one day it occurred to me. I had a flash of insight. It dawned on me in one moment of pure clarity that I could just turn off the comments section on the YouTube video. I could just take that off. So then, thank you, YouTube, for providing this excellent escape. It's well needed. So I figured that as long as I have that safeguard, I can say anything I want. Really, there's no repercussions that I could experience. Whoever invented that option is a genius. But anyhow, let's go on with it. Like I've said, I'm not doing this broadcast to piss off Beatles fans. I mean, I could do that very easily by saying I prefer the Stones. But in any case, that's not my point here, okay? Because I grew up liking the Beatles a lot, and I'm just doing this because although the Beatles were pioneers, and arguably the most important band in pop music history, still, I mean, they were human beings. And they could produce a crap bubble the same way anybody else could. Really. They're not like gods or anything. I mean, they came out with crap too. And that's all I'm trying to say here. That's really it. Okay, so look, and I'm not here to say the point of my broadcast is not to say that they were overrated or anything like that. I mean, look, I'll even lay off George and Ringo. I won't talk about them at all. As a favor to you, the fan, I'll lay off them completely. Okay? Alright. So, let's begin. Now, there are certain Beatles songs that I don't like, but that I won't be talking about today. Like, of course, Yellow Submarine is so damn annoying. I prefer to think of it written by George Martin or something. That's the only way that I can remain sane, is to think that George Martin wrote it or something. Because if the Beatles truly wrote that song, that's not good songwriting at all. No. But anyhow, I'm not here to talk about that. And I always found the song I Want to Hold Your Hand creepy. I mean, I want to hold your hand. It sounds like a pedophile visiting a kid's playground and saying, I want to hold your hand. I mean, and quite honestly, do you think this guy really wants to hold this girl's hand? Or does he want to hold something else? I mean, let's be honest here. Okay. But, and what about that horrendously titled song, 8 Days a Week? Yeah, what was their follow-up hit? 366 Days a Year, Girl? That would have been a top seller, too. Okay, but anyway, the Beatles sure did like their drug imagery, didn't they? I mean, Roll Up for the Mystery Tour, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And what about that other song they had, Paula in the Clouds with Pineapples? PCP reference, obviously. But yeah, they didn't write that song. I just made that up. But they could have. I mean, it would have been just as obvious. And speaking of pineapples, I bet if they were around at the time of Seth Rogen, they would have helped write the soundtrack for Pineapple Express, because all of their songs had some kind of drug mention, laced in. At least half of them did. A good portion, anyway. Now, we all know that the Beatles wrote their fair share of introspective songs, deep songs with meaning, but, I'm referring, of course, to things like In My Life and When I'm 64. But what about the sheer pointless literalness of the song, I'm Fixing a Hole? I mean, listen to these lyrics. I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in. What do we all work at Ace Hardware? We care why this guy is fixing a hole? I mean, come on. We want to hear a song about household repairs. I mean, that's a given. Okay. I mean, why don't you tell us about the time you regrouted your shower tiles? Yeah, that's a good pop tune. That's a good subject matter. Yeah. Okay. But let's give John Lennon the benefit here. Let's see if later in the song he includes any other lines that mean anything else. Okay? So he says, I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in. Then he says, I'm filling the cracks that ran through the door and kept my mind from wandering where it will go. So now this dude just went from fixing holes to filling cracks. I mean, again, why are we interested? Now, some people have speculated that this is actually about a heroin injection. You know, I'm fixing a hole, I'm filling in cracks, but I guess it's the only thing that makes sense, because I can only hope the song is about heroin, because after hearing this song, you'd want to be on hard drugs. Because the song is that mundane, that boring, okay? All right. And if you look at over the Beatles' catalog of music, it's hard to find a song that's not about drugs or not about psychedelia in some way. I mean, the title, I Am the Walrus, doesn't exactly scream out that this song is going to be a drug-free tune exactly. I mean, I am the walrus. And how about this line in the song? Sitting on a cornflake, waiting for the van to come. Sitting on a cornflake. Yeah, John wasn't stoned when he wrote that or anything. I mean, yeah, haven't we all been there? Haven't we all had the occasion to sit on a cornflake and wait for that van to come barreling in, you know? But really, if he was going to write a song using a breakfast cereal as an image, why not pick something softer like oatmeal or cream of wheat? Why is this guy going to a cornflake? That's just not good, okay? It's painful. And here, next we come to one of the grossest lines in pop music history. Yellow matter custard dripping from a dead dog's eye. Gross. I mean, yellow matter custard dripping from a dead dog's eye. Yeah, from the same lovable mop tops who brought you I Want to Hold Your Hand comes yellow matter custard dripping from a dead dog's eye. Yummo. I mean, I'd actually sit here and try to interpret the image of yellow matter custard dripping from a dead dog's eye, but probably less said on this topic, the better. Yeah. Now, next we come to one of the most confusing lines in popular music history. I am the Eggman, I am the Eggman, I am the Walrus. Well, of course, if you're the Eggman, you have to be the Walrus. It's a given. It's obvious, okay? It's only logical. It doesn't have to be said. They both go hand in hand, don't you see that? If you're the Eggman, you have to be the Walrus. It actually turns out that Eric Burdon, lead singer of the Animals, claims that he was the inspiration behind this line. He says he is the Eggman because Burdon told Lennon about the time he cracked raw eggs on some girl while he was having sex with her. That provides valuable insight into this song, but not sure why Lennon wants to include a mention of Burdon doing that in a song, you know, cracking eggs over a girl while he's having sex. Not sure why he felt the need to include that. Anyway, my hunt for bad Beatles lyrics is far from over. At the end of this broadcast, I've really only just scratched the surface of their vast library of bad lyrics. For every top 40 hit they had, they also included another bizarre literary reference, drug mention, or hallucinogenic image. They apparently wanted the listeners to go on some like bizarre fact-finding or magical mystery tour of finding images in songs or hidden clues. I mean, who could ever forget that song or the references to Paul is dead images in a lot of their songs, or that song that just goes number 9, number 9, number 9. I mean, that song represents 9 minutes of my life that I'll never get back. Thanks, Beatles. Thanks a lot. Anyhow, I've been Mark Levitt, and thanks for watching this particular episode of Bad Lyrics featuring the music of the Beatles.